Okay, nice. Let's jump right into this because I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Let's go, man. I'm bringing the energy this time. Let's go.
Were you not bringing the energy the last time?
Now I'm really bringing it this time. I'm really feeling it.
Look what
I'm
I
all
got
amped
here.
up on this shit right
Look what I
here.
got right here. The only person in Ireland with one of these.
How did you get that?
I was in the States recently. I picked it up.
Ah, very nice. Lemon
It's
lime.
nice.
Lemon lime.
Are you a fan or no of Prime? Because it's got someone you love dearly and someone you hate a lot, both involved.
I'm a fan. I love it. I drink that working out, and I'm proud of my brother. He's crazy. He's crazy. He's crushing it. He's going to become a billionaire off of that. So kudos to him.
And you are going to become a billionaire off boxing, I believe. That's hopefully what the plan is. And first off, you foray as promoter Paul for the first time without fighting on April 30th. I'm very excited. I can't wait to get over and see Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. Of course, I love Amanda. I think she's great, but I'm Irish. We're big Katie Taylor fans over here. She's the biggest star in the country. She's bigger than Conor, I think, here. What a big fight.
I'm excited, man. Like you said, counting down the days is getting closer and closer. And I'm part Irish as well. That's something people don't know about me. I think I'm like 20% Irish. My mom always gets dressed up for St. Patrick's Day and all that type of but unfortunately Katie's gonna lose. I'm sorry, man. I just have to say Amanda Serrano is a dog. It's gonna be a good fight, don't get me wrong. But I just have a feeling. I think I can just sense these types of things. And, this is Amanda's night.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people, particularly like sports reporters in Ireland, one of the big ones is we really want to cover a Conor fight. And another one is people love covering Katie fights. They think that this is like a huge, event anytime she fights. But of course, this is the biggest one, right? This is the biggest women's fight of all time. And you believe that Amanda, just too much for Katie at this stage in her career.
Yeah, Amanda, I think, is in her prime, and you saw the fight against Pursoon with Katie Taylor, where she had a tough time dealing with all of that pressure. But Amanda Serrano is on a different level, and I respect Katie Taylor. I think she's awesome. She's been nothing but kind to me, and she's a champion. She's done so much for the sport. She's done so much for women's boxing. So for that, she's a legend. And like you said, she's the biggest thing in Ireland. I mean, why wouldn't she be, right? Like Conor McGregor hasn't won a fight in 5 years. So people, do they really care about him? He's washed up. So obviously Katie Taylor is going to be the girl that they support. But I don't know, man. I just think Amanda might have that mental edge, and I just feel it in the air that she's going to do something historic and something incredible that night.
What excites me the most about this fight is I think that Katie is one of these fighters who, kind of like Tyson Fury, is like, she fights to the level of her opponents. So she hasn't looked great the last two times because she hasn't really fought people who are that great. But when she fights someone at Amanda's level, I think we're going to see the best out of both her and Amanda. And I think we're going to see, like, obviously it's the biggest women's fight, but probably one of the best fights in boxing this year.
Yeah, it might as well be the biggest fight of the whole entire year. As far as it goes historically, it is the biggest fight for this whole year. And yeah, boxing needs more of this. The 2 pound for pound best going at it. That's the problem in boxing, is these fighters are scared to actually make this matchup happen because someone has to lose. And we're starting to see more of it, which is great. But promoters don't want to put their fighters on the line and risk having them lose if that's their cash cow. So this is great for the sport in general, and we need to see more of the 2 pound for pound best going at it.
Promoter Paul is someone who was supposed to really only be for yourself as a fighter and for Amanda, but you've added someone else to the stable, kind of. Alex Wassabi is partially involved, right? He's not signed, but he's working with you guys in an advisory capacity. Can you talk to me about what exactly the nature of that relationship is?
Yeah, so we're advising Alex in his boxing endeavors. So he came off a big win. He's not officially an MVP athlete, but we have a lot of experience in this realm, and he needed some help with negotiations and figuring out how to map out his his career and his game plan. And so, Nikis and I have stepped in to really help him. And obviously he's a big star and a big YouTuber. And we sort of figured out the formula to making these fights happen and to make a lot of money off of it. So it just made sense for us to, reach out a helping hand and help with everything that's going on. And hopefully we can lock down one of these big fights with him against another big YouTuber from the UK or something like that.
I think we all know who the ideal one would be, right? And it's also someone about whom you have a great interest, and the co-owner of this place, maybe, perhaps. But is that realistic? Is that possible? I know that you're talking about you're going to fight in August is the plan, and he's planning on fighting in August, perhaps. Is that possible for Alex to be the opponent in that August date?
Yes, and that's what we're shooting for. And I think it could very easily happen. Just from KSI's side, him actually getting in the ring. He keeps on talking about it, but he's been talking about it for what seems like 3 years now. So who knows if he actually is gonna put down the microphone and pick up the boxing gloves, because there's a lot at risk for him. And I don't think his ego can take a loss. So I don't know if the money is going to be worth him risking losing in the ring.
By the way, what's this idea that like you can't possibly do both? Like when you fought Deji, you did a whole tour during the fight camp. You were playing these big venues. Is this like you couldn't possibly tour and bring a trainer with you with the amount of money he has at his disposal?
Look, man, you're preaching to the choir. These are excuses that he's been using for the past couple of years. And, you take a look at his Spotify and his monthly listeners, and they're just slowly declining because you can only pay for so many features. He paid damn near every person in the rap game to do a feature for him. Now he's out of features, and now the numbers are slowly going down. And obviously the music sucks. It's not good. No one's ever like, man, did you hear that new KSI? Or, no one's talking about that. So the music's going down, and boxing for influencers is where the money's at right now. KSI is a business guy. Obviously he has Prime with my brother. So when the numbers are declining on the music side of things, you're going to look towards boxing, right? Everyone saw I made $45 million off of it. There's not a single artist in the world, musical artist, who's getting paid that in a year besides Drake. So boxing's where the money's at.
How much did the win over Woody, the second one, where it's like undeniable, you knocked him out brutally, and you did to him what you did to these guys who weren't at that level, right? Like you did to him what you did to Nate Robinson, and there's kind of no excuses after that. How much does winning that fight make you go, you know what, I'm willing to embrace a bit more of the silliness. I'm willing to like talk to YouTubers, because I know that you were always trying to be like, I'm not a YouTube boxer, I'm not a social media star, but now the legitimacy allows you to kind of go, you know what, yeah, there is a little bit of fun here. There's a little bit of like, I am a YouTuber, and I'm going to work with Alex. I'm going to talk about KSI again, because you were like leaving that for a little bit. How much did the win over Woodley allow you to kind of go, all right, I'm comfortable in boxing now. I'm comfortable within myself.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I think it finally like silenced anyone and any doubters and proved my legitimacy, which has allowed me to, get back to being a little bit more silly and quirky and just being myself again. I'm posting a bunch on TikTok, just messing around and showing my goofy side. Whereas for the past 2 years, I was just so focused on boxing, I became a different person. And now I feel like I can blend those two worlds of, the old Jake Paul and the boxing Jake Paul better, like you're saying.
You're one of you've got some of the best fans in the world. I'm not just saying this, but a lot of your fans, because we do interviews and stuff and I cover your career quite closely, a lot of your fans will contact me privately. A lot of them will, I speak to a lot of them, and they know you better than I think you know yourself sometimes. They sleuth very well. They give me a lot of stuff that I work on for stories and stuff. Someone noted that you put out a tweet today, a lot of big stuff going on behind the scenes, big announcements coming soon. And they messaged me, this is interesting, that Bellator had liked the tweet. They noticed out of 3,000 likes that one of them was Bellator. Is there any correlation between those two things?
Maybe, there's conversations going on with Bellator about some unique stuff and some other MMA fight leagues as well. There some of the announcements I can't talk about. We have a new MVP athlete that we're signing, which is pretty awesome. And then working on something in the Hollywood space. Your boy might be acting, but I'm just giving little teasers.
If I were to guess what it is that Hollywood thing is, you wouldn't say yes, no?
No,
correct. If I said, is it anything to do with the Creed movie?
No, there's no way you would guess.
Okay.
But yeah, we're just working on a bunch of new stuff. I have a big business launching in the later half of this year that I've been working on now for a year. So just a lot of really cool stuff going on. And yeah, hopefully maybe we'll get into the MMA ring and throw some leg kicks on some people.
A rematch with the mascot from the basketball game the other day. I think that might be on the cards at some point. Knocked him out with one punch. We didn't get to see much of a fight.
Literally, yeah. Yeah, that one was funny. That was, sometimes you gotta just beat the out of somebody, you know what I mean?
And he was asking for it.
He was. It's not, it is what it is.
In a couple of weeks, we've got a very exciting event happening in the UK. Tyson and someone who you know very well, Tommy, as well, fighting. What do you think of what do you think of Tommy fighting? Finally, a big criticism that both of you guys see is fight a real boxer. He just fought your friend Anthony. He fights guys with losing records most of the time. He's finally fighting someone with a winning record, 10-1. Nice, right?
Yeah, look, it's great. It's great. And, let's see how he fares. This will be a cool test for him. And hopefully it's not a snooze fest like all of his fights. Hopefully he can get a big moment or get a big KO and get some momentum going, because right now we're just not interested in that fight just because he doesn't really have anything going. People only know of his name because of me. So I'm rooting for him. Get best of luck to him. Hopefully he can get a big KO and do something that would create more excitement for a fight between us, because he sucks at promoting. His brother did all the promotion. His dad did all of the promotion for the last fight. So he's got to do something to, get back on my radar.
Of course, you've got an August fight date. Someone told me you probably, there's no way you're going to confirm this for me now, but did I hear August 14th is the date or no?
No, we don't have a date in August.
You're just talking about that's when you'll be back.
Yeah.
And no opponent, of course, in mind yet, because it's very far out, or?
Yeah, look, we're talking to a lot of different people, a lot of big names. We're looking for someone that has that star power, because I want someone that can bring a ton of pay-per-view buys to the table as well. All of my opponents have carried the promotion. So looking for that big name, and someone that can really be a heavy hitter in the space.
Thank you so much for your time, Jake. I do want to ask you one more. I was actually over Christmas, this is a while ago, and I've seen you since this, but I just forgot to mention it. I was down in Conor's gym in SPG, and I asked Coach Kavanagh, what would you do if Jake came in and he put down the fees and he said, I want to train here? And he said he'd have you. He said he'd like to work with you and Logan. He said he thinks that, you guys have a great wrestling background, and in Ireland, obviously, we don't really have so much wrestling and stuff. And what do you think of maybe one day working with Conor and training at SPG instead of against him?
Well, I don't train with losers. So as nice and respectful as that is, Coach Kavanagh, you can suck my nuts, and Conor McGregor, you can suck my butthole, because I don't train with losers like that. This guy hasn't won a fight, so why would I want his bum ass coach teaching me?
In all seriousness, I would like to thank you very much for that lovely message you sent me the other night, a couple of weeks ago. That was very, very nice of you to say. And I don't know if you saw my response. You said I was the GOAT. I said, no, you're really the GOAT, Jake. I said, I'm not. That's very nice of you to say, but I appreciate your support and the call Nikisa gave me as well. That meant a lot. And I look forward to seeing you hopefully quite a lot when I'm in New York, right? We're gonna do like a load of stuff while I'm over there, I think.
Let's do it, man. Yeah, no, and keep up the good work, bro. You're continuing to grow your brand, and it's awesome to see. You're gonna be at the top of all this media stuff one day. So yeah, happy to help, happy to chat as whenever. And I'm definitely going to see you in New York.
You know what I watched the other day? I was doing some cardio. I was trying to get in shape, right? It obviously didn't work out too well because look at me, but I was trying, and I was watching The Mind of Jake Paul. Remember that?
Bro, Jesus. That man, that thing is, that's so crazy. I should go back and watch that one day, but that's man, what a period of YouTube, man. I miss those days. That like YouTube and the
30
internet's
million
kind of
views.
boring now.
Crazy.
Literally, yeah. It's like a Netflix show.
Oh, actually, by the way, one of your fans messaged me. I see in the background Shag Mags. Have things worked out again with you and Julia?
Yeah.
You're back together?
Yeah. We were never not together.
Mm-hmm. There was just, yeah. I understand how things work.
But yeah, I'm at Julia's house right now. I don't know where she is, but yeah, no, that's my girl, man. Julia's, you know, I love this girl to death. So yeah, happy to be here.
Thank you very much for your time again. And I'm sorry, Alex, for taking up too much of it. You guys are the best.